whatever you want from your football, the A-League's first semi-final between Newcastle Jets and Melbourne City delivered it. Do you want fairy tales? The Jets have returned from the footballing wilderness. Newcastle collected 3 wooden spoons since their last appearance in the finals, the last of which was only one last season. Next week, nevertheless, they will get the chance to go from worst to first in Ernie Merrick's maiden season in charge of the club, potentially bringing the A-League championship back to the Hunter for the first time since Mark Bridge fired them to their lone title in 2007-08. It comes 4 years on from the infamous player revolt that resulted in several players, including local hero Joel Griffiths, being sacked by owner Nathan Tinkler, and only 3 years on from the now infamous owner departing in the midst of financial trouble and FFA control. Now, however, the Jets will now head into a grand final under the stewardship of CEO Laurie McKenna, who has brought a sense of romanticism and passion back to football in the Hunter. His partner in crime as part of the Novocastrian, Scottish Mafia, Merrick, has now guided the Jets to the promised land ahead of schedule. The 65-year-old, who left Wellington Phoenix last season, has shrugged off any of the criticisms that accompanied his appointment and brought a sense of style, dare and attacking flair hitherto alien to the Jets. 3,723 days since he last got the chance, Jason Hoffman will now return to the big dance, once again in a Jets shirt, his goal acting as the sealer that put his club into the grand finale. Do you want comebacks? City took the lead in the contest through Bruno Fernaroli, or a Nikolai Topper-Stanley-owned goal depending upon your source, in only the 15th minute of play, and would head into the break-up 1-0. The Jets lost their starting goalkeeper in only the 26th minute as Jack Duncan, who according to Fox Sports tore his quad, was replaced by veteran backup Glenn Moss. Somehow, however, Merrick's Jets rallied. They would come roaring, or perhaps soaring, in the second half to equalize through a 57th-minute Riley McGree miracle and a 75th-minute Hoffman strike to overrun a City that looked out of sorts. City had previously won every single finals game they had scored first in, and it was only the 5th time the Jets had come from behind at halftime in an A-League game to win, and just the 4th time in A-League finals history the feat had been achieved. Do you believe in miracles? McGree goals can't be described as anything other than miraculous. Wow, just wow. Bravo, Riley McGree, hands clapping. Read more. One of the best ever. Twitter explodes after Riley McGree wonder goal. McGree's 57th-minute scorpion kick will go down in the annals of Australian footballing history. One of the most important and best goals scored not just in the A-League, but any competition played on these shores, perhaps even the world. Scott Jamieson, speaking to Fox Sports in the immediate aftermath of the game, looked as though he was still unable to process it, twice repeating, "The lad will never do it in 100 years." Even McGree himself could not quite believe it when speaking in his post-game interview. "I think I did get a bit lucky," he said. "I had the momentum going forward, I just had to swing my leg forward and it happened to go in, so I'm pretty happy. Definitely a bit of a fluke, but you've got to try it to get it." Do you want young guns? 19-year-old McGree's sensational, man-of-the-match performance was not the only teenage brilliance on display on Friday night. On the opposite side of the park, 19-year-old Daniel Arzani and 18-year-old Nathaniel Atkinson were perhaps the only players in City shirts that can hold their heads high after their semi-final performances. Atkinson, faced with the monumental task of marking Jets attacker Dimitri Trados, did an commendable job against the man that recently earned a call-up to Bert van Marwijk Socceroos' squad and even provided hints of a spark as he advanced down the right. Arzani for his part appeared to be the only threatening player in City's attack, alone in his launching of probing runs at Jets defenders and seeming desire to create something. The young attacker often made the Jets defense look like fools as he weaved in and out of them as if they were training cones, and if he had had his finishing boots on, or his fellow City attackers had put in even average performances on the night, perhaps it would be the phenom earning the praise that McGree will be lavished with in the coming days. Do you want controversy? Despite all the warm and fuzzy feelings that will be emanating out of Newcastle following the win, and the desire of much of the footballing public to focus on the upcoming grand final, the wrap from the first semi-final will be dominated discussions of a number of controversial officiating decisions. A stray elbow from Ronald Vargas on Arzani in only the 4th minute, that at the very least deserved a yellow card if not one of the red variety, went unpunished by referee Sean Evans and the VAR. A 21st-minute challenge from Johnny Coutrumies on Arzani inside the area, that should have been given as a penalty, was reviewed by the VAR but ultimately waved off, much to City's bemusement. Numerous challenges throughout the first stanza went unpunished by Evans, leading to a scrappy, physical second half as players that should have been on a yellow already descended into physicality as desperation peaked on both sides. The officiating drew the wrath of Fox Sports analyst Mark Bosnich after the game. The Australian legend was furious during the post-game wrap-up. "The higher the game goes, the stricter the refereeing should become," Bosnich said. "People come to see the players play, not people kick other people and do those type of things." Sean Evans, or whoever's refereeing tomorrow in the semi-finals or whoever's going to referee in the grand final, you book these players in the start. For City, they will, perhaps rightly so, fell incredibly hard done by. The Jets, meanwhile, were able to stage a legendary comeback. City will rightly wonder just what the result would have been should Fernaroli have been given the chance to step up to this spot in the game's 22nd minute with his side leading and with a one-man advantage.